The beautiful thing about a medium where you can spend time thinking about what you're going to say before you say it is the ability to simplify. This means finding progressively simpler ways to say the same thing in less words. In tech, this is often looked at as refactoring or iterating. Look at texting, email, code, and design. These are all things we can spend time critically thinking through, getting feedback from others to help our iterations, all in order to find the best version to share with others. Incredibly important, as it often represents perspectives we typically don't have by default. This allows us to grow. These new mediums are based on this growth. They're less performance-driven, such as acting and giving presentations, and more iterative. We have time to refactor our current understanding and get better to move forward. You could think of this as a process. The first event is an idea, followed by a first draft. Then we may have feedback stages, or many. Then we may have the final draft, where the most time and energy is spent. Finally, we have a last review. Did we meet our lofty goals founded in our original idea? Looking at this as a circle can help signify that this will happen many times, depending on the size or scope of the idea. Our step process will be referenced a lot. The context will change, like with coding instead of talking about writing emails or texts. This high-level view, or what I call the airline view, allows a perspective of ground-level concepts. Think of it like an airplane flying over a city. You can see the large buildings, but you probably don't know the addresses. This high-level perspective will aid you once you are down in this city to generally reference the associations of those larger concepts. This feeds the inner voice of what's the next step. Repetition helps find meaningful ways to save time. If you spend a few moments to think through the natural benefits of technology, I bet one is saving time. Look at the main benefit of sending email over sending physical mail: time. The main benefit over taking an analog or film photo over a digital picture: time. That more instant understanding over what you're creating is value. This is, as I currently understand, a main value point of technology: efficiency. Look at email, the airline view of what you send or format of what you write. Seriously, look at it, or I guess think critically. The last time you sent or draw out that picture, you probably started off with some sort of greeting, followed by a body of text, and ended with some sort of salutation that included your name and phone number. This is an important view of what you create. This is consistency and structure. We do this to help people we are communicating with to understand what we want from them and why it needs to be done. It's the who, what, when, and where. When using these views, we can leverage our ground level work more effectively. Here's my formula: 1 to 3 bullet points of an idea. Intro: what I would like from you and why it benefits you. When it needs to be done and how to get a hold of me. And keep every point to a max of 1 to 2 sentences. This keeps it brief, and in my experience, very few people open their email apps to read stories. Time spent on the structure of what we create, the easier it is to understand the effectiveness. Viewing how consistent we are with our execution can help inform what to do next. This is the beginnings of design. If you were to squint your eyes and look at most emails, you'd probably see 3 blocks. These represent the text of what you write. Time is spent to ensure the middle block is no longer than 3 sentences, also known as an executive summary. You can eliminate variance in order to measure the results. If our overall goal is to get others to respond more often to our emails, then we need real data. By writing, let's say, the next 10 emails more consistently, we can focus more on brief who, what, and where sentences to effectively measure and grow. After following through with this idea, you can start to look at the numbers. Over the next emails that have been responded to, perhaps they group together near the shorter end of the spectrum. This can help reinforce that simply writing less, through iteration and lots of drafts, will help sustain direction and growth. Spending the time to understand if your email is for meetings, creating paper trails, or perhaps even delivery of content will help drive personal understanding of the larger goal. Getting straight to your point through a brief summary will set up a two-way expectation. This helps model an environment where others are more thoughtful over the way they communicate with you through how you treat and communicate to them.